Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, August 10th. Opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley believes government is wasting time on legislation that does not address the daily hardships of Barbadians. In his contribution to the debate in Parliament on the Corporate Miscellaneous Provisions Bill today, he charged that such amendments lack substance.
We come to Parliament every Tuesday, and every time we get a chance to speak, we speak in lofty terms about the plight of the small man, about caring compassion for the plight of the average working class person in Barbados. We need to reduce the cost of business, and sadly and truly, and it must be admitted, rather than this government reducing the cost of doing business, especially for small businesses in Barbados, it has increased the cost of business operations. Ask the farmers out there, ask the taxi operators out there, ask the ZR drivers out there. By its own policy initiatives, it has increased the cost of business operations across many areas of endeavor in Barbados.
However, Acting Prime Minister Santia Bradshaw defended her government's record and work in Parliament since taking office.
If he is honest with himself or with his maker, that he would appreciate that he has that responsibility, sir, to the people of this country to make sure that they too understand that there is a process and that the efforts certainly are not in vain. And therefore, sir, I can go on about all the things, the trust loans, all the various things that we've done to empower our people. The vending bill is coming shortly, and again, we've made that commitment. He made that commitment to the vendors too, and we are going to fulfill the commitment to bring those transformational things to this country, sir, that we all know that we need to do. But to belittle this bill or to belittle to the proceedings of this chamber in a manner that sends a message that what we come in to do here is not relevant to the people of this country is insulting, sir, and it is offensive, I believe, to all of us who serve every single day and spend every waking moment that we have breath in our bodies to do what is right by the people of this country, to listen to those types of criticisms when they are not sincere.
Meanwhile, Acting Attorney General Wilfred Abrams, who piloted the Corporate Miscellaneous Provisions Bill, said government is putting measures in place to bring the country in line with its obligations with respect to money laundering treaties and its anti-money laundering responsibilities globally.
Basically, this is to bring us in line with our obligations with respect to money laundering treaties and our money laundering and anti-money laundering responsibilities globally. Sir, in February 2020, the Barbados Financial Action Task Force, which I'll call the task force from now, agreed to an action plan, sir, that consisted of steps necessary to strengthen and more than just strengthen, sir, demonstrate the effectiveness of our anti-money laundering and terrorist financing regime. And these were included, sir, in the action plan. And on the immediate outcomes 5 are action items specifically related to beneficial ownership. 14
new electric buses are now on the island to bolster the island's public transportation system. The addition pushes the number of electrical buses in the Transport Board's fleet to 49. Transport Minister Ian Gooden-Edgell, who made the disclosure this morning, also said Barbados now has the largest fleet of electric buses in the Caribbean.
I can confirm that on last Saturday, August the 7th, the additional 14 electric buses that were ordered as part of the second order to the Transport Board arrived on the island. The buses are in the port. Obviously, they have to be assembled with the mirrors because we don't ship them with the mirrors. So the team is currently assembling the mirrors. Once those mirrors have been assembled, the 14 electric buses will leave the Bridgetown port. They will obviously be stored in a safe location. The insurance and the licensing will be done, and as soon as those 2 steps are taken and accomplished, the buses will be activated and will be on the roads of Barbados.
Minister Gooden-Edgell said the additional buses were among the first batch of vehicles procured 2 years ago and come at no extra cost to taxpayers.
The cost that we had set aside was approximately $42 million. That didn't only include buses, that included the electrical infrastructure that we had to undertake, and that was a cost that we had set aside, like I said, 2 years ago. Okay, so there's no additional. And what we did, and it was good thinking on our part, is that at the time when we had made the order, prices would not have been going in the direction that they're now going. So the Transport Board had the vision and the foresight to ensure that we went to market at the appropriate time.
Barbadians are being urged to participate in the Housing and Population Census. In presenting the Statistics Validation of Listing Exercise Bill 2021 in Parliament today, Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Marcia Cadell, said it is important for citizens to take part in order for government to make decisions based on the data the survey presents.
We have the Data Protection Act, we have the Statistics Act, which provide for the protection of that data. It can only be used by the government agencies and those officers that are empowered under the law to observe and analyze that data and cannot otherwise be shared, except under those provisions that are made in the Data Protection Act and the Statistics Act. But it is important. It is important to give us everything we need to develop the best policy possible on behalf of the people of Barbados. And
now to your latest COVID-19 update. 5 people, consisting of 1 female and 4 males, tested positive for COVID-19 from the 1,379 tests conducted by the Barbados Santos Public Health Laboratory on Monday. There are 111 people in isolation. Barbados has recorded 4,485 confirmed cases of COVID-19 since March 2020. The virus has claimed 48 lives. The national vaccination program for COVID-19 has seen 100,573 people receive the first doses of the vaccine.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, Trinidad and Tobago recorded its first mother-to-child transmission of COVID-19. Health officials also confirmed that another woman had died soon after giving birth from the virus. More in this report from TTT News.
We picked up that she was COVID positive. Luckily, she was asymptomatic. And then we checked the babies. And in this case, this baby has turned out to be positive. So this is the first case of documented mother-to-child transmission of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago, and is the youngest patient we have to report.
He says that case is ongoing and both mother and baby are being monitored and have been doing well so far. Dr. Sergio Singh, though, is urging the population to get inoculated to help protect both pregnant women and their babies who cannot get vaccinated. At this point in time, he adds that there is no approval for pregnant women to be vaccinated.
The scientific data, we're still waiting on the publications to have a more liberal use of it in pregnancy. A lot is actually being published with the mRNA vaccines. So we are actually hoping that when and if they arrive on our shores, we can look at this with the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group and consider it.
And finally, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo resigned on Tuesday following an inquiry that found he had sexually harassed 11 women and in the face of mounting legal pressure and demands for him to demit office.
This is one of the most challenging times for government in a generation. Government really needs to function today. Government needs to perform. It is a matter of life and death, government operations. And wasting energy on distractions is the last thing that state government should be doing. And I cannot be the cause of that. New York tough means New York loving. And I love New York. and I love you. And everything I have ever done has been motivated by that love. And I would never want to be unhelpful in any way. And I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.